What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sean Hughes, and I figured we'll talk about my recent purchase. You see, the last video on my channel was about why I chose to get the 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I think, within a year has passed. It's time to see how it's held up, how it's done in my day-to-day life, my workflow, and overall if I'm happy with my purchase. Let's talk about it. So it's been a year since I purchased my 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I gotta say, since getting it, I cannot be happier. I will save you guys the trouble watching the entire video. I absolutely love it, and if you are a creative professional, a student, anybody who does anything semi-professionally, and I say semi-professionally because I think a lot of times we get the word professional mixed up, and we think professional, we think it has to be if you're working for Disney or Netflix or something really, really high level that's going to be in theaters. If you're not doing something like that where you need all of that power, bro, I don't really think you need something like the MX Max chip unless you just absolutely want it or, it really does fit your work style. But I think for 90% of people out here, the M3 Pro, the Pro version of these chips, is just enough. And I can't say enough good things about my version of what I've had here. What I have right here is the M3 Pro 16-inch MacBook Pro, and it is the base model, so it comes with 18 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. So like I said, it's been a year since I purchased my 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I gotta say, as a content creator I do a lot of sports content creating, so I'm at games, practices, events. I do photography as well, and I do a lot of this content creation, this YouTube channel. Everything that I do creatively, I do on my MacBook Pro, my 16-inch version. And I gotta say, I absolutely love it. It handles everything that I throw at it, from multiple 4K things that I'm doing on my timeline, editing, photo manipulation, whatever the case may be, anything creatively, I can handle it on my 16-inch MacBook Pro. And the reason why I decided to get this one, if you haven't checked that video, I have it linked in the description below, and I have it in one of these cards. But the reason that I decided to buy the 16-inch MacBook Pro was because I was upgrading from an M1 Mac Mini, and while that machine was great, I found that because I am doing sports content, and as you can see, I'm not at a desk right now, I tend to like to be outside. The past couple of years, I've been doing a 9-to-5. I've been inside of a job. I've been inside of a building. So anytime I can get to be out and away from my desk and just outside, I would love to do that. And having a MacBook is absolutely a game changer. It's a necessity for me, and so that's why I decided to upgrade to this version. With that being said, let's talk about my creative workflow. So on this machine, the apps that I use the Adobe Creative Suite. So that's Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, Illustrator. While I do use those programs, I am looking for alternatives where I can get away from the Adobe Creative Suite. So I have decided that I think I'm going to move onto the Affinity. So I'm going to use the Affinity Suite for photo manipulation and the Illustrator alternatives. For photos, I'm going to use Capture One, and then for videos, I'm going to move back to Final Cut Pro. While I do enjoy Adobe Creative Suite, I don't really want to keep paying for the subscription. It's as simple as that. It's not something that I enjoy seeing come out of my account every month or every year, however I choose to pay it. Sometimes I go on a month-by-month basis because I'm leaning towards it, and sometimes I'm like, man, let me just get it out the way. But that's neither here nor there. That's my Creative Suite. That's what I use on my computer. As far as business goes, for my business workflow, if you don't know, I am the owner of Capture the Soul. We're a sports media company. I help brands and athletes and organizations with their content. If you need it, let me know. Shameless plug. But for my business, I run everything through the Google Suite. So I use Google for my email. I use Google Docs. Anything that I'm using is usually it's online. So I use Square and Stripe for my payment. So I don't really need like a hardcore system to do it. I can kind of do, if I have internet access, I can always access my systems. And so that's one of the things I don't know. However, as a business owner, I'm always looking for ways to try to shave costs or see if I can get more benefits for my money. And so just using the iCloud Drive, it doesn't work, number one, for the amount of money that I'm paying for it. And number two, everything that I do, I send Google Drive links to people when I'm finishing their content as well. So I already use Google Drive, and one part of my business it makes sense for me to just try to include that across the board for all of my stuff. So that's what I use for my business workflow. If you don't know, I am, aside from being a sports content creator and a business owner, I am also in school. So I am a student going back to finish my degree in sports management. And so that's something that I'm very proud of. It's a personal thing for me. I know right now getting degrees is not kind of a guarantee for the future, but it's more of a checkbox for me that I want to finish. And so I use this laptop for school. So on top of doing content creation and business stuff, I'm also doing research papers. I'm also doing homework, turning in assignments. And so I need a machine that can have multiple tabs open, and it can allow me to do my work more efficiently. And so this machine has been a godsend, and I absolutely love it for that. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. While I do understand that, this laptop is not for everybody, but I will say that one of the things that I absolutely love about it is because I'm coming from a Mac Mini, so I'm coming from a very stationary device, and this allows me to go anywhere and take it with me. I can understand, though, doing the portability that is a heavy machine, and so I do understand that if portability is your number one thing, don't get the 16-inch version. I recommend you get either the 14-inch MacBook Pro or you get a MacBook Air. However, for me, I am willing to make that sacrifice because the 16-inch screen is just big enough, and that screen real estate is perfect for me. And so that is something that I'm willing to carry around this extra weight in my bag just to have that screen real estate. And that wraps up my 1-year review of my MacBook Pro, man. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you so much. If you can give me a subscribe to this YouTube channel, man, I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers. I'm working really hard to try to get that. It's been a while since I uploaded my last video, so I'm back in the groove. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.